When we learn English or any other language, there's always something we wish we had known before. Ideally, you would like to have someone who could guide you or share some shortcuts with you or make you understand that these are the mistakes you should not be making. Because after learning that particular language, we get to understand many things, that what are the mistakes we should not be making and what are the steps we should be following in order to make our journey easier. And this is something I also struggled with. While I was learning English, I made several mistakes. And now I wish that someone had told me about them, then I would have made my journey a little bit easier. So don't worry, in this video I'm going to mention all the mistakes which I have made while learning English, and if you focus on them and if you follow some of them and try to correct those mistakes, then you can make your journey a little bit easier. So without further delay, let's get into the topic. So the first mistake I made while learning English is pronunciation. Sure, there are terrible English words in terms of pronunciation and many people get stuck there. But like other learners, I was not worried about pronunciation because I thought it's pretty easier and it would not be that much difficult. And that's why I did not pay enough attention to my pronunciation because I thought it's not essential. And I kept making same pronunciation error over and over again. And when I actually get to realize their correct pronunciation, till then it was too late. Now I had no other option but to feel bad and just curse myself that why did not I care for them earlier? Why was not I careful enough to think about them? And I think correcting your pronunciation is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to language learning, because you have been trained your mind to pronounce certain words in a certain way and your mind is accustomed of it. But now you want to change it, so it requires a lot of time and a lot of energy. So my recommendation is to focus on pronunciation, focus on especially correct pronunciation, because you may feel that these are tiny pronunciations so you don't need to worry about them, but these tiny mistakes can lead you to a disaster. Next thing I would recommend you is making mistakes. This is something I have learned in a very hard way, that sometimes in order to be good at something, you need to start from what you have, from being bad at it, and it is perfectly okay. Sometimes we wait for our grammar to improve and our knowledge to increase so that we can start speaking with perfect English. But all we need to do is to start speaking right now, even though we are bad at it, even if we are making mistakes, because this is the only way to improve our English and this is the only way to just learn something new from making mistakes. As a non-native English speaker, we think that we won't be able to detect our mistakes. So we need to have someone who could guide us, and we need to have a tutor who could make us understand about our own mistakes. But I don't think so. I don't think you need to have a tutor to correct your mistakes, because if you have been speaking over and over again, if you are just recording yourself while speaking, then you can easily detect your mistakes, and in this way you can improve your English. Next mistake I made was trying to learn everything quickly. I had this horrible habit to learn everything at once, even at the stake of everything. I had this mindset to speak English fluently and speak English like natives as quickly as possible, even though when I was lacking in basics, my pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, everything was extremely awful. Just to acquire English language, I was trying to study English for crazy hours, which led me to burnt out and feeling of exhaustion, which did nothing to me. So there's one thing I would recommend you to allow some time to yourself, because if you want to be fluent in any language and if you want to master any language, you must allow some time to yourself to grasp everything. Next mistake I made was not speaking with others. This is something I have already mentioned in many of my videos, that I was extremely scared to engage in a conversation with others because I always thought that my English is horrible. I won't be able to make a proper conversation with others. I won't be able to hold even a simple conversation. So I did not have enough confidence, and I used to tell myself that, you know what, you can improve your English just by yourself, so you don't need to step out of your comfort zone. You don't need to try out something different. Although I could improve my English just by myself at home without interacting with anybody, but there's one thing I was lacking in: confidence. I did not have confidence. I literally did not have courage to go outside and talk to anybody in English. And it took me a lot of time to convince myself to step out of my comfort zone and engage in a conversation with others. There's one thing for sure, that you can improve your English just by yourself, but if you want to boost confidence while speaking in English, there's one thing I would recommend you, that please go outside and try to explore something different. Try to do something different. Try to engage in a conversation with others, because once you do that, you will get rid of the fear of being caught while making mistakes. So it will help you a lot to improve your English. So the next thing I took wrong was enjoy the process. This is one of the brutal things I have experienced while learning English. But it may sound weird to you that what is she talking about? But let me briefly explain what I mean by that. So when I first started consuming a lot of content about learning English, that how am I supposed to learn English, then everybody talked about one thing, that you have to enjoy the process. But I thought completely different. I thought if I would be studying English for hours, then probably I'm going to feel satisfied, or I will be getting a lot of happiness or joy. But nothing happened. Rather, I was feeling burnt out and I was feeling exhausted. Earlier, I used to complain a lot that why everybody talks about enjoying the process, and everybody is enjoying the process. That's why they do talk about. But here I am just struggling with this language and not feeling like studying anymore. Then why does it happen to me? And then I made myself realize that it is all about perception. If you are looking at the struggle right now which you are having while learning this language, and not thinking about the result you will be getting after learning this language, then definitely you will have this kind of mindset. So you need to just modify your mindset, and you need to think that by saying enjoy the process does not mean you will get instant result. It is all about you will be getting result in future. So here are few mistakes which I made while learning English. So if you try to incorporate some of the different tactics while learning English and try to avoid these mistakes, then you can save a lot of your time and make your journey a little bit easier. So I hope you got some valuable insight from this video and enjoyed watching this video. Then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.